Hello viewers, this is Nobel Shah. Once again welcome you all to my online tutorials. Today I am going to discuss about a very important topics of Server 2012. The topics is IPAM, IP address management. Now I will describe something about IPAM, why we need IPAM server and what actually IPAM does. Okay, IPAM server is a server that actually is central location that can control all the DHCP, DNS, also NPS server in your domain environment. Okay, so from one console you can actually control all the DHCP server and DNS server or NPS server in your entire forest. Okay, so to configure IPAM server we have some prerequisites. Let me focus on those prerequisites first. Number one, the machine that will be configured as a IPAM server must be a member of a domain, and it should not contain any DHCP or DNS role installed in this machine. Okay, and then one more thing, IPAM server cannot manage any DHCP or DNS server that does not belongs to that particular forest, and also IPAM server cannot manage any stand-alone server as well. So to configure IPAM server, what we have to do? The first thing, we need to install a role which is called IP address management. Okay, so this is actually a feature, so let me install the feature first. So this is a machine which is, I have renamed it as Adatam IPAM, and this server is domain joined, and this server do not have any DHCP and DNS role installed. So now I will configure this machine as a IPAM server. So the first thing, I need to add a feature. So click manage and then click add roles and feature wizard, and then click next button. Click next once again and make sure your machine is selected. Click next, and then this is the role page. Go to the feature page. So from the features page, select the option which is IP address management server. Click the add features button, click next option, and then click install. Okay, so once the feature installation completed, we will discuss how to configure IPAM server so that it can manage all the DHCP and DNS server, also NPS server in your total environment. It is taking some time, but it won't take too long, so please stay with me. Right, installation completed. One more thing, remember, when you will configure IPAM server, you must log into this machine as a domain administrator. Okay, if you log into this machine as a local user, you will not be able to configure IPAM server. So make sure you log into this machine as a domain administrator. Okay, so once the IPAM feature get installed, click the IPAM option in the dashboard. You will not get this option under the tools menu. Okay, so you have to click the IPAM option under the dashboard. Make sure about it, and then look, there are some options. We need to configure these options one after another. Number one, connect to IPAM server, which is already actually connected, means the machine you are using as a IPAM server. Okay, so here it is saying that connected to c186.atom.com. This is my machine name, which is c186, and this is domain joined, that is why it is looking like this, c186.adatom.com. so our first job is done, which is connect to IPAM server. The second thing we have to do, provision the IPAM server. Okay, so in the second option, provision the IPAM server. Click the provision IPAM option and then click next, and here you have to specify a GPU name. Okay, in the GPU name prefix box, enter GPU prefix here. Okay, so you can specify anything, no problem, the prefix can be anything, so there is no limitations. For the demonstration of this video, I am just typing IPAM. Okay, and then click next, and here in the summary page you can see when we specified IPAM as a prefix, there are some GPU name automatically created with that prefix. Okay, look what it is created. Number one, IPAM underscore DHCP for DHCP servers. Okay, and then IPAM underscore DNS for DNS servers, and then IPAM underscore DC underscore NPS for domain controllers and NPS servers, as we have discussed in our class. Okay, and then just click the apply button. So it is saying provisioning in progress, it won't take long. Okay, and then click close. Okay, so our second job is done. The third thing, we need to configure the server discovery. Okay, what does server discovery means? Server discovery means those servers who have DHCP and DNS installed, that will be discovered in the IPAM server machine. IPAM server machine will discover all those machines those have DHCP, DNS or NPS role installed. Is that clear? So click the configure server discovery option, and here select domains to discover, means which domains it will try to discover the DHCP, DNS and NPS servers. Okay, so here it is saying atom.com. So select this option, and if you have more than one domain controller, you can select it by using the drop down arrow. Okay, and then click the add button, it will be added. Okay, look, it is added. Once it is added, you need to specify actually what you want to manage. Okay, here it is saying domain controller, DHCP and DNS, means these three things you can manage from your IPAM server. If you untick any option from here, it won't be managed. Okay, so that's it. Click OK. Right, now we need to do one more thing, which is called start server discovery. Okay, here we have just configured so that the server can be discovered. Now we will start the server discovery. Click the start server discovery option. As our book suggested, it takes around 15 minutes to discover the servers. Okay, but in real case it does not take too long. Okay, maybe around 1 or 2 minutes it will be discovered. Depends on your size of your forest, how many computers you have, how many computers you have, those have DHCP server or DNS server or NPS server installed. Okay, so because we have a very small environment, it won't take too discover those machines that have DHCP, DNS or NPS server role installed. Okay. So for the sake of this video, I am just pausing the video. Once it is finished, I will get back to you. Well, once again, welcome back. Our IPAM server discovered all those DHCP and DNS server installed in this environment. So if you now click the select or add servers to manage and verify IPAM access, you will see all those machines that have it discovered. Okay, so here I can see it have discovered one machine which is named C185 and another machine named C187. Okay, you can always refresh to make sure you have all those machines listed here. Right. Look at this window very closely, that the manageability status now it is showing unspecified, and the IPAM access status is also showing blocked. Okay, means you cannot actually manage this server and you do not have access to this server till now. Okay, so though it is discovered, still it is not possible to manage these servers. Okay, so to manage these servers we need to do some more things as well. What we have to do? The first thing, we need to specify a command. So to specify the command, open your PowerShell. In the PowerShell window, use this command invoke. Let me make it bit bigger. Color screen text. Right. So invoke, then IPAM, you can use tab. Well, invoke hyphen IPAM GPO provisioning space hyphen domain space specify the domain name, in my case which is adatam.com, and then space hyphen GPO prefix name. Okay, in our case we have specified IPAM GPO prefix name, we have specified IPAM, so IPAM. Okay, IPAM, and then space hyphen IPAM server, that is IPAM server FQDN space specify the IPAM server FQDN, means fully qualified domain name. In this case it is C186 dot adatam dot com. Okay, c86.adatam.com, and then space delegated GPO user, means which user we are delegating so that it can be managed by that user. Okay, so in that case we are using our domain administrator as a delegator. Okay, so that is adatam /add administrator, then double quote close and hit enter. Okay, so once it is correctly typed and you hit enter, it will ask you for confirmation. Type yes and then hit enter once again. So look, it is provisioning the IPM and it is creating the GPUs. Okay, and that is all. So and then we need to go to our domain controller machine. Okay, in our domain controller machine, let's go to our domain controller machine, and here just update the GPU by using the command which is gp update space / force Okay. Now from the domain controller machine we need to create a group. Tools, Active Directory, users and computers. And from the Active Directory, users and computers window, click the group icon and specify a group name, like we are specifying like R26 IPAM computer group. Okay, and make sure you have select the universal option. Okay, and then click OK. So once the group created, you need to add all those machines that will be actually managed by IPAM server. Okay, so to add the machine, right click and go to properties, go to members option, click the add button, and from the select this object type option, click the object types and click the computers option. Click OK, and then you can type your computer name if you know, or you can go to advanced option and click find now, and it will be listed all those machines. Okay, so in my case the machine name is C185 and I have another machine which is named client MC, right, and click OK, and then click OK. So we are trying to add those machines, those have DHCP or DNS or NPS role installed, that will be managed from IPAM server, and then click apply. Okay, right. Now go to the group policy options. From the tools menu, click group policy management. Once you are in, expand your domain and you will see those policy created and already linked with your domain. Okay, that we have specified in our command. Understand? Now we need to do one more thing. That we have to delegate. We have to actually specify which computers will be associated with this GPU. Okay, you remember the security filtering option. Okay, so to do that, click one GPU, like my first GPU is IPAM_DC NPS. Click OK, and then from the security filtering option, click add and click the group name that you have just created. Okay, find now, and our group name is R26 IPAM computer group. Okay, click OK, right. In the same way for the DHCP, do the same thing. Click DHCP, click add, advanced, find now, R26 IPAM computer group, add OK, and then IPAM for the IPAM DNS, okay, add, then advanced, find now, group name R26, okay, okay, right, and then refresh, okay, close, once again GP update /force, click. Our book suggested after you doing this you should restart your machine, okay, but for the demonstration of this video we are just manually updating the group policy. So go to the IPAM server machine now. This is my IPAM server machine, and do the same thing here again, GP update and then force. Well, once you update your group policy, go to your IPAM server once again, click the IPAM, and from the overview click select or add server to manage and verify IPAM access, or you can go to start server discovery once again and you can discover once again if there is any more new server added to your environment. So it is trying to discover, it will take some time. Let me pause the video and I will get back to you once it is finished. Okay, once it is finished discovering, just click the select or add servers to manage option, and here in this window refresh the window. Well, before refreshing it you can do one more thing. You can right click on the machine and click the refresh server access status. Refresh server access status, click on this. It is taking some time, please stay with me. Well, after finishing the option, just click the refresh button. Sometime it takes time, but the IPAM access status should be unblocked, okay. Well, once again welcome you all. As our status now showing that it is unblocked, look at the IPAM access status is now showing unblocked, okay. So sometimes it takes some time to get the effects. So what you can do, you can actually check by your PowerShell command whether the policy that you have configured, it is successfully applied to this machine or not, okay. So there is a command called gp result.exe space /r/scope and then space computer. Hit enter. Look, in the applied group policy objects, it is saying that default domain policy and the other 3 policy that we have configured in IPAM server, that is also applied. Okay, so make sure that this policy applied successfully. Now once it is unblocked, right click on the machine and go to edit server option. In the edit server option, in the manageability status, you specify it managed. Okay, so that it can be managed. If you do not specify it as a managed, it will not be possible to manage this server. Click OK. And now once again go to the edit server option and check what you have selected to manage. So now I can see I can manage DC and DNS only, but I cannot actually manage DHCP or the NPS server. So you have to make sure you have check all those things that you want to manage. Click OK. Okay, once you have the IPAM access unblocked, you can go to the DNS and DHCP server options to configure the DNS and DHCP server. Okay, in the DNS and DHCP server, once again refresh the window. Now it is saying that in one machine, which is c185.eratam.com, the server role DNS and the server role DHCP is installed and running. Okay, now you can right click whatever you want to manage. If you want to manage the DNS, you can right click on it and go to the manage option, and if you want to manage the DHCP, you can right click on it and can manage. Okay, so let me check whether in my adatam.com machine, in my c185.adatam.com machine, if there any existing scope or not. Okay, so this is my Adatam DC machine. If I go to the tools and DHCP option, and if I expand the machine c185.adatam.com and expand IPv4, there is no scope exist in this moment. Okay, so now from the IPAM server we will create a scope for this particular machine. Okay, so go to the IPAM server. This is my IPAM server, and from the DNS and DHCP servers option, right click the DHCP option and click create DHCP scope. Here specify the scope name. So maybe it is R26 IPAM scope, description whatever you want to describe, and then start IP address, the starting IP range, which is say 172.16.1. say 10, and then end IP address 172.16.1. say 250. Okay, and then the subnet mask, and then the other options like lease duration, and then exclusion range. If you want to exclude any range from this range, double click and specify 172.16.1.50, 172.16.1. say 100. Okay, exclusion means this IP won't be dynamically assigned to the client. Okay, and that is all. That is how you can create a scope from your IPAM server. Just hit enter and click apply, and none. Okay, right. Now you go to your Atom machine and refresh the window. Look, there is a scope, R26 IPAM scope. Understand? And if you want to manage DNS, you can do so as well from the DNS and DHCP server options in your IPAM server. Go to the DNS option, right click on it and launch MMC. Okay, click launch MMC. It will open the management console. This is the management console, DNS manager management console, which is actually of your c185.atom.com machine DNS manager. Okay, if you check the zones in the forward lookup zone, look, this is atom.com and orange.net, two forward lookup zone is created here. If you want to create a zone, right click, new zone, next, say primary zone, next, zone name, say IPAM zone dot net, next, then next, and then finish. Okay, close this window from the IPAM server and go to your Atom machine. This is my Atom machine, atom.dc. Go to the tools and go to the DNS option, and you will see the zone you have created is existed here. Understand? So that is how you can manage your DHCP, DNS or NPS from a central location, which is called IPAM server. Okay, hope you guys have enjoyed this video, and if so, please do share with your friends. Thanks very much. In my next video I will discuss with some other topics of Windows Server 2012. Till then, you guys take care. Bye bye.